Our next presentation is entitled Joining the NANOG Board, an overview from the Elections Committee. Please join me in welcoming Chris Rogers to the stage. Chris is a member of the 2024 NANOG Elections Committee and is providing an update on the process and dates for this year's election cycle.
Thanks, Adair. Like Adair said, my name is Chris Rogers, and I am with the Elections Committee. And this is my first time doing a presentation on the elections process here, but hopefully we can get through it okay. So what is the NANOG Board? There are 6 elected board directors that are elected by all of you, the membership. And then in addition to those 6 directors, we also have the executive director of NANOG, and by virtue of holding the position of program committee chair and 8th member. And like most years, this fall we're expecting to look to fill 2 of those board seats that are expiring. So what does it actually mean to be a director for an organization like NANOG? The real big goal of being a director is to ensure that the organization continues to be relevant today, financially solvent, and it's able to serve its membership today and continue to do so in the future. And to do all of that, you generally will have different positions over the term on the board, and you may serve additional roles on different committees, such as the program committee, as many do. And just generally, you need to be involved and active inside of the community here. So to actually run for the board, you do need to be a NANOG member. Hopefully many of you are. If not, there's still plenty of time to become a member. You can find instructions on the website, and it's a very small fee to do so. And then you also need to attend a couple of meetings every year, and that's really, again, just to remain involved in the community so that you can look, see, and hear things that are actually happening in person. And then finally, just to ensure that there's no conflicts of interest, you do need to disclose anything that might be in it, that might be a relevant affiliation. So there are particular skill sets that we are looking for. Governance in nonprofit organizations is always welcome, as is any experience with what happens in this community itself. So internet technology, networking, and really the human relationships that many of us have built over the years. And then also continuing to help with fundraising and other things that are necessary to kind of support actually funding the organization so that it can fulfill its goals. So we are going to be having elections later this year. So in about 2 months, we're going to have the nominations process open up, and then that'll run for about a month. Mid-September, that process will close, and we will start accepting support statements of support for the candidates that were nominated. And then in October, there is a Q&A session, and I believe that's actually at our fall meeting in Toronto. And then at the end of October, the voting process will wrap up. So if you would like to participate, and I hope you do, there is a very helpful website that you can, or a web page on our website that you can go to. That will all get populated by August. Any member is eligible to be nominated, and you can also, as a member, nominate yourself. So please speak to a couple of your friends, those around you, and we'd love to have a couple more people get nominated. There is a candidate form to fill out just so that we can learn a little bit about you. And then obviously, please, 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 please vote if you are a member. And with that, I think that's all I have. So if there are any questions, I will do my best. Lee.
My name is Lee Howard from IPv4.global by Hilco Stream Bank. I think I might know the answer to these questions. The first question is, what kind of time commitment is required of board members?
Thanks, Lee. That's a really good question. So the time commitment for the board does vary a little bit throughout the year, but it is primarily a working board, so there is actually work that goes into it. There are a couple of board meetings. I believe those happen immediately in advance of every in-person meeting. And then there are also regular board calls throughout the month year-round.
My second question is, are there specific skill sets or gaps that need to be filled on the board?
At the moment, that's a really good question. I'm afraid I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I would be happy to get back to you shortly.
That seems like the kind of thing that would be useful when looking for candidates to recruit to run. Part of where I'm coming from is it's not fair to compare organizations. The Aaron NomCom process is also kicking off, and they put out a letter saying the board has discussed what additional skills or perspectives or ideas or kinds of team members would help build out the overall team in order to give it a robust supporting set. So it's just a thought.
That's a really good point, and I will try to make a point that our materials that go up on the website address some of that. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Steve Feldman, Paramount Global and NANOG Board. So to answer a couple of these questions in a little more detail, we have monthly board meetings. Right now they're roughly 2 to 2.5 hours, one Friday a month. We are expected to attend most, if not all, NANOG meetings. We have typically the Sunday before the NANOG is all day in a board meeting. And then all of us are on various committees as well, so there's time for that. So I would estimate that I spend maybe in a non-meeting month, maybe 5 hours a month on working on it. And during a meeting, it's like a week. So that's it. As far as gaps, don't have anything specific, but one of the things that we did identify in our meeting on Sunday is that we actually do need to do a gap analysis and get a better sense of where we could use help. So hopefully that'll come out in the not too far distant future in time to be useful for the election.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else? All right. If not, please make sure that your membership is good and think about those you can nominate or stand for a position yourself. Thanks.